Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, Funds.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, mortgage protection, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing tips on how to save money on life insurance. And who doesn't like to save money? I think everybody does, especially on a product that, we personally are never going to get the benefit from if the policy's on us, right? Other people, our loved ones, our families, our spouses, our partners, they will get the benefit. That's what life insurance is all about. Life insurance is all about love. So let's talk about some ways to save money on life insurance. The first point is just buy it when you're younger. So many people, I always say, they're so busy living, they don't think about dying. And yet, what's the one thing that happens to everybody who's ever born? Everybody gets to die, right? So, with life insurance, I'm sure you know this, but if you don't know this, the younger you are, the further away from dying you are statistically, the less expensive your life insurance is going to be. So, if you get something at age 35, it's going to be less than age 65. So, you might be going, well, why do I need it when I'm younger? I don't have any financial obligations. I'm not married. Don't own a house, don't have any of this stuff going on. Yeah, you're probably right. You probably don't need it. Um, but most people will need it at some point. And when you shop for this younger and you're healthier, you qualify for better rates. And if you think about it, if you're 30 years old and you get a 30-year term policy, that's going to last you up to age 60. Holy guacamole, from age 30 to age 60, that's a lot of mileage there. And that protects you during just so much of life's ups and downs where things could possibly go wrong. And, term life insurance is great for when we're just kind of die at the wrong time for any number of reasons. And once we get older into our 60s and 70s, then we can transition out of term into more of a whole life product that's going to last all the way up until age 121. So don't think that you'll always just be getting term. You might want to look at some other longer term permanent products down the line. But you know what? Those longer term permanent products, the younger you get those, the less expensive they are too, as far as the premiums go. Another thing you do is to save money on life insurance is shop around and compare quotes from multiple insurance providers. Now, I will tell you, sometimes that's a dumb thing to do because if you don't know what you're looking for, you're just checking with a whole bunch of people that you don't know anything about and you're asking for rates. And I had a gentleman call today and he goes, yeah, just give me the price. Just give me the price. And I had to go, do you have a name? You know, I didn't even know the guy's name or anything about him. He's like, give me a price for this insurance. And I was just like, yeah, I would need to know a little bit more about you to even get you some options. But there's some people out there that are like that. They're ignorant. That would be a good word to say. They are ignorant and they're a bit rude too. That some people are anyway. I should say that they just don't know what they don't know. And they're very defensive because they probably think they're going to get sold something that, they don't want. And they're probably not too hot about buying it anyway because it has to do with death. But like, don't beat your agent up for that, right? But I will tell you also, sometimes when we get people like that, they've talked to a number of agents that are really terrible, that have kind of just done the whole sales presentation and they were, being forceful and, trying to pressure them into making decisions right now. And that's difficult when you've just come out of that situation and then you're actually on the phone talking with somebody who's honest, who actually cares about you, who's going to do the right thing for you, and who's going to get you the best pricing and who's going to treat you like family and who's going to tell you also maybe you don't need certain things, right? Instead of just trying to upsell, 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 upsell. So I guess that's what we're saying. There's There's good cops out there, there's bad cops, there's good doctors, bad doctors, there's good agents, there's bad agents. So we really recommend, instead of you shopping around all the time, because every little quote thing you fill out or thing you mail in, that's permission for agents and companies to call you and bother you for, if you send something in online, typically they're gonna be pestering you for a good 90 days straight, right? So just be cautious about that. What we do at Funeral Funds of America, we work with a whole bunch of different insurance companies. We're a broker. We actually get a shop around for you, and we get to shop all the different quotes, and we routinely just kick the pants off of these big companies out there, Allstate and State Farm, and all these other companies out there, because they don't specialize in life insurance. They're selling property and casualty and motorcycle insurance and automobile and all this other stuff, and typically life insurance is just a sideline for them, and they're not great at the underwriting, and they don't have really great products because most of their agents aren't great at the underwriting. So it's a very simple product that's got a higher cost, that allows more people to get into the policy, but it is a higher cost. So another tip on saving money on life insurance. This one's maybe a little too late by the time you hear this podcast, but it helps you further down the road maintain a healthy lifestyle, right? So if you're going to get a term life insurance policy right now, and you think you might want a whole life insurance or index universal life or any number of different more permanent policies in the future, just focus on your healthy lifestyle right now and staying in good health and taking care of your body. You know, hey, if that's the only incentive you need, to get better rates on life insurance, run with it. But you know what? You also live better life and healthier, and as you get older, you feel younger, and you don't get as many diseases, and you stay off medications and stuff like that. So, hey, healthy lifestyle is just a good thing to do. Another tip is pay premiums annually instead of monthly. And this is kind of a double-edged sword. I will tell you why. Sometimes you can save a little bit of money. I don't, it might be $50, 30 or 50 or something like that. Depends on the policy and the coverage amount. If we're talking $1 million policies, that's a whole different situation. But most people aren't looking for 5 to 10 million. But if you are, paying annually can be a pretty good way to save some money. But most people are truly better off just even if there's a little bit of a price discount, just paying it on a monthly basis. Because most people, and I'm not picking on people here, but most of Americans live in paycheck to paycheck. And if you just build your monthly premium into your regular budget, people can easily fit that in. But otherwise, if you don't have it in your budget, people tend to spend everything they have. And then they get to the next year when they got to pay the annual premium, and they're like, uh-oh, we ate out an awful lot for dinner this month, and now we don't have any money. So, and then policies can lapse, and we don't want that to happen at all. Another way to save money on life insurance is to avoid unnecessary coverage. We would all like to leave millions and billions and bazillions of dollars behind for our loved ones. You know what? That coverage costs money. So there's always going to be that happy medium of really taking care of your family and loved ones and your financial obligations and business partners and all that other stuff. There's always that balance between that and just having to make that payment on a monthly or annual basis. So the more insurance you get, the more it costs. And there's going to be some policies out there that are just feel like too much, and there's going to be some that just feel like too little, and then there's going to be some that just feel just right. And that's the one you should really go for. Keep in mind, you can always add more coverage. So there's really no excuse not to get life insurance. If you need to just start at a smaller amount, go ahead and do that. That provides immediate first day coverage. And then we can always help you add more coverage later. And you go, well, why after I got my initial policy would I need to get more? Well, maybe you make $100,000 a year and you bought a $500,000 policy, and that was just intended to replace your income for 5 years to your spouse or loved one. Well, maybe you go out and buy a $500,000 house, and now you want to make sure that, hey, if I pass away, I want to make sure that that house is covered. So now you get a $500,000 mortgage protection life insurance policy that if you were to pass away, now the home is paid off, and that way your partner or spouse or whatever the relationship is able to keep the house. And with that existing 500,000, now they've got some income replacement as well too. Another way to save money on life insurance is to avoid unnecessary riders or add-ons. And that is really dependent on the insurance company and the policy. Riders are simply add-ons to a policy that maybe do specific things like accidental death. That's a rider. With a lot of policies, if you had an accidental death benefit rider, it's going to double the face amount. It's a cool thing. If you have that and you die of an accident, it's really a blessing to your family. It just doubles the money. But, it does cost money, and there's other riders on there too, waiver of premiums and different things like that. So, that's going to I don't really wanna go too deep into that because that's going to be so company and policy specific. And then finally, the last tip on how to save money on life insurance is work with an independent insurance agent like us at Funeral Funds. We work with many different insurance companies. We're actual brokers. We go out and find you the most affordable options that are gonna meet your needs. We'll also work with you and have conversations with you about how much do you need? What's going to be appropriate? What are your long-term needs? Is this something we need to do all at once or phase in over time and have a longer term approach? Do we need to take a look at a term life policy that can transition into a whole life policy at some point? Or should we look at a term life insurance and just let that end and then look at a brand new whole life insurance at that time? So there's a whole bunch of different ways to go. But those are just a few tips on how to save money on life insurance. My name is Randy Vandervaet, and I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, FUNDS.com. And our phone number is 888-862-9456. We will be blessed to help you with this in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.